Three, two, one.
Here we go!
Good evening and welcome back to 15 Minutes of Fame with Dawn Branch, where we bring industry professionals into your home where they get to share their journey of their success in their life and career. Tonight's guest is one other than Miss Kathy Follensbee from Orlando, Florida. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know, I'm so excited. She's never seen me in real clothes. It's so funny.
It's probably bad. And I'm still not in real clothes.
You're in your office. So Miss Follensbee or Miss Kathy is the director of the magnet school in Orlando, Florida called the Dr. Phillips High School. And she's been doing this for how long, Miss Kathy?
Well, I've been teaching in Orange County now for 36 years and 34 at this school.
That's
Isn't that
amazing. That's amazing. Wow. I can't wait to hear all the information you have to share with us.
well?
Before we do, how did it all start? Like, how did dance even find you? Like, who are you? Who's the woman, Miss Kathy?
My parents, I think this is very interesting. Growing up, they just said that I literally danced out of the womb. And I think I took my first class when they talked to me about it. It's such an old school experience. Of course, I don't remember it. I was 3. And they talk about this dark, dingy hallway. They'd take me upstairs into this older room with this older woman who had a cane in her hand, the old kind of experience. And when I took from her, she told them, no matter what, make sure Kathy dances. So I am a military brat. We moved all over. And so I didn't always have experiences, but somehow I would find dance and dance would find me in whatever manner, whatever it ended up. Movement is movement, right? But I always, I'm so old school that I grew up reading dance magazine from cover to cover. And it just, anytime you got to go to shows or see things, it was just one of those experiences that dance has been in my life, whether or not it was formal training or I just made it up. And as that kid growing up, again, I told you I was a military brat, so we moved around a lot. And I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so we kind of had to make our own way. But anytime my grandparents would come in to visit us, I would get the entire neighborhood and we would put on a show because, of course, I was directing everyone. Even those old porches that you had the curtains that you would pull to close. I mean, we'd set that up. Everybody had a job to do. I made everyone do something, and I just took no for an. I would not take no for an answer. So from the time who knows, as a kid, I was just telling everyone what to do, and we were putting on a show.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. I love it. And you're still doing it to this day. This is your natural thing to do. That's awesome. So your parents, were they in the arts at all? Or is just give her something to do and okay.
My mom was a drama major when she
Okay.
so she was, she did, and I did do drama, and my kids are super surprised that they're like, oh, we could tell you've done some drama.
You've not only done drama, but you were also a swimmer, which we're gonna get to later on.
Yes.
But so where did you basically, even though you were an Army brat, where did you finally just settle down? Was it in the Florida area? Was that your considered?
No, I literally was born in California. I moved to Colorado. I moved to Japan. I moved to Michigan, down to Alabama, up to New Hampshire. And I literally went into guidance in New Hampshire and I said, pick me a school in Florida. I just thought it sounded really warm. They picked Florida State, and I ended up, for my family never lived here. And I just ended up in Tallahassee for 4 years. And then I ended up in Louisiana doing the World's Fair. And then I just decided to come back to Florida after that. I got here for no apparent reason, no apparent ties, other than I
You
just
wanted
thought
to be warm.
happy red flowers were much better than being cold. So
Okay. So you were a dance major or drama major? What was your major? What was your
I
major?
was not a dance major. I was actually a physical education major, and I took dance classes all the time. I was one of
Oh,
the original Golden Girls at Florida State. I am that old. And so I just found ways to keep dancing. And at Florida State, that's when I fell into synchronized swimming. So I did synchronized swimming at Florida State, plus Golden Girls, plus, lifeguarding,
wow.
plus,
So
just,
talk to the audience about synchronized swimming. Like, yeah, because I had no idea about that. And I have a clip I wanted to show you too when we finish with
yeah.
this.
Well, synchronized swimming is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done all kinds of sports. I ran track, I did martial arts, I've been a cheerleader, any kind of movement, I wanted to do it. Dance, of course, was my favorite, but the
Mhm.
synchro, to dance in the water, you're holding your breath and you are upside down for a minute, sculling, it's like lifting weights to hold yourself up. You're not holding the bottom of the pool. And it's so fun. But I'm telling you, in synchro you learn to clean everything to the nth degree. I can clean anything. I think that's my biggest gift as a director.
Wow,
I can take something and clean it because the synchro is what gave me that, no, that precision.
I
um
see.
yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at a clip so the audience can have an idea of synchronized
So
swimming.
much height, a brilliant start from them. So they finished 5th after technical, but remember it's very, very close. Walked 0.195, that's all behind France, and walked 0.544
Oh boy, look. Oh,
off 3rd. So it really is still very open. Wow, fantastic.
wow. So that's you, huh? You were doing stuff like that?
We did all kinds of things. Of course, when you have Olympic level athletes,
Mhm.
what they're doing, the sport has changed so much because it's even changed from synchro to artistic swimming so that they can do more what we
Oh,
do in concert dance. You think of drill team dance and concert dance, and synchro has gone for more of that, from more of that drill team into more of that concert where they're doing everything now. They even
yeah.
have duos, they have mixed duos. So there's quite a lot there. Yeah, I worked with the synchro team here for years and years doing their deck. I would do their deck choreography that before
Nice.
they get in the water. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. So I
Mhm.
want to talk to you about the muscles between dance and swimming. What are the similarities? What are the differences? And can you do both at the same time?
Absolutely. Yeah, I did
Okay.
it in time, especially at Florida State. I was swimming synchro twice a day and then doing Golden Girls and dancing, night rehearsals and classes during the day. So
Because
it's really,
my question, I have a
yeah,
question. I'm
yeah.
wondering, right? Because with you want to be lean with your arms and pretty and lengthy. However, in my brain, I'm thinking all these strokes would make you
So
bulkier.
you're thinking competitive swimming with all of the strokes, and the synchro is literally just dancing in the water. So it's
Okay.
really not about the strokes. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's very, very different in the sense that you're not competing to be fastest, you're competing to work as a team, with dance movements,
Okay.
literally.
So they have to take dance class as well.
They don't, but it's literally dancing in the water. Now, would
Okay.
I say would dance help? Yes, because I think it definitely helped me, and especially when I
Okay.
was dancing at the World's Fair, because I was a dancer, I was able to pick up on everything so fast. So they wanted to work with me because I could do any style. Um,
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah.
Okay. So talk to us a little about the World Fair because there might be some students who are like, what is that? Like
What
that
is
was a big deal, guys, then.
it used to be. I don't know that we hear so much about it anymore, but the World's Fair would go to different cities and there would be all kinds of different things that people could do. But one of the things that the 1984 World's Fair was famous for was a specially built aquacade that had synchronized swimming, dancing, and diving. And so there was a whole show built around those three aquatic activities, and we actually had two they were second. They placed second in the Olympic trials that year, who were like the stars. And then they had someone from like all the states around the world. So they had this mix of synchro swimmers that came together, and we just learned routines. And we literally did a 35-minute show 6 times a day
Mm.
for a year. And, you know, it
Mm.
all
That's
the
awesome.
fun that goes into that. And, um, I was Princess Mio Mayo that made the rain happen,
So
So
you were
I
the
mean, just
lady that would come. I'm
oh,
thinking of the Barbara Streisand movie, Funny Girl, when they come out. Is that you? Wow, look at that.
I mean, things like that. I mean, they would go through the decades. There would be things like there would be like yellow polka dot bikini dancing with stuff in the water, or disco. Like I remember running out in a hot pink jacket and silver tennis shoes, and you'd take this tennis shoes off and dance with them before you take it all off and dive into the water
Oh
to.
Lord, don't say
Oh
take
yeah,
it all
no,
off. Kids are watching. PG show,
were
PG show.
you were dancing, but the swimsuit's still on.
I'm
You're
kidding. This.
have the jacket and the shoes to jump in and swim, but just a super fun show that people could come by, celebrities could come in and out of, but the 6 times a day,
Mhm.
was it was something.
Yes, well, I applaud you for that. And I had no idea. So this is good information.
Mhm.
So now let's talk about you did that, you're in your undergrad, then you decide you want to go for your master's. So where do you go for that and what is that in?
I actually ended up teaching for many years before I decided, because I actually had a family, and I researched a master's program for about 10 years and couldn't really find anything. So I did not go back for my master's until I was 50. And I went to Jacksonville University, and it was really a very valuable experience. I knew I wanted to do something different to change my teaching and shake things up in the program. And I will tell you, I can literally see in the last 10 years how much everything really changed. It wasn't that there's not really anything different I did, other than the fact that the more you find out and the more cohorts that you have in
Mhm.
your corner, the more guests you can bring in, the more you can expand those relationships and let kids see new ideas, new thoughts. And it helps you to become a little clearer on what it is that you want to make sure that you're doing. And I knew I wanted to build a dance arts program. I wasn't interested in competition kinds of stuff. Not that that isn't beautiful and fabulous, it is, but I just knew here's where I wanted to be. And I wanted to build a program that could let kids experience and just fulfill their own souls. And, so that's what I went after. And that program gave me that capability to be more solid in
Mhm.
my changing things around. And definitely in the last 10 years, here we've seen that shift, that mindset shift in our
Okay,
program
so
here.
I don't want to let this go by. You did say briefly, I have children. So briefly, are they dancers? I know one your baby girl is. What is this the boys like? Tell us about your family.
All three of the kids, I had two boys and a girl, and the girl was the youngest, and they all grew up dancing and swimming. They
I did
did
not know that.
gymnastics. So they did everything. But the boys, very quickly, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have tall males in the dance route. They were
Mm.
fabulous, but they ended up going sports. So they both went full time sports and ended up both in soccer. And the middle one ended up with a college scholarship for soccer.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
then my daughter did our entire program. She was a gypsy, as you know. She
Hmm.
in high school was a gypsy, and
Hmm.
she just floated all around. She spent
Hmm.
some time with you, and she did our program. She went to college, and for a couple years, it just wasn't quite the experience that she had experienced here, and that she needed to make a change. So she ended up going a different route, uh, moving into sign language, but then going right back again, and
Hmm.
ended up finishing up with her dance minor. And she actually is assisting us this year, and she's
Yay.
studying for OCPS as a dance teacher, and she's amazing. So
Yes,
it's super
she
fun
is.
to see how we all take different paths. Most of the time, it's never a straight one. And the
Hmm.
ones that we go off and veer with give us more information for what we really, really want to do. So it's interesting to walk away from dance and come back to it. Both of us had that. I walked away from it, came back.
Hmm.
She has too. And that happens to a lot of former students of mine. They're like, no, no, I'm going to be a nurse. And then they're like, you
Right.
I'm gonna dance. So, when it's you, sometimes it just keeps talking back to you and it
Hmm.
pulls you right back. Hmm.
Well, I have a parent who has a question for you as being the
Okay.
director of the dance department and why it's important to come to your school. So let's see. Let's see what she has. Okay, just let me know if you can see her.
Okay, I see her.
Okay, and then open it up. And here we go.
Good morning. I am a mother of two dancers. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, and soon we will be thinking about high school. So my question is, what would my kids benefit from going to your school, the dance program at Dr. Phillips, versus going to their regular high school that they're zoned for? Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Mm, very nice.
That's actually a really great question. And I love that she asked that. What I tell parents all the time, to me the gift is I was a kid who from the get-go wanted to dance. I wanted to direct. I wanted to do everything. But I was really alone in school. There wasn't anyone like me who thought like I did. And when I watch the kids here and I get very emotional, sometimes it's just like, when you think about a bunch of atoms that get dropped in together, that their relationship with each other just start to bounce and then they start to create. And to me, that's what it is when like thinkers, when creative thinkers get to be in a room together, they just explode. And you don't want to stop that. The person who thinks differently, there's nothing wrong with them. It just means we think differently. We think outside of the box. We have a different take on something, and that doesn't make us not smart or not intelligent. It means that we have intelligence in a different way. And I love to see those kids be able to come together where they feel super safe and get to experiment. I, I just think it's incredible. I feel really honored that I get to watch that and to watch their growth over 4 years. I just am a very family oriented person. And I've taught before where I only had kids for a semester, but to have kids for 4 years and their family and we become family right away, it's incredible.
Thank you. So explain to us how the whole process works, how to apply for the school and the audition process, and oh my God, did I get in?
Right.
So yeah.
So the county there has open enrollments, which usually are somewhere right around that November to mid-February timeframe. And one can just go to ocps.net and look at school choice for high schools to find that out. And then each school will there are actually two magnet schools now. There's University High School has one and Dr. Phillips High School has one for visual and performing arts. And then once you identify that, you can go, there's open houses where you can get more info. And there's definitely one in January that the county sends out that so people can look and come and experience and see the high school. They can meet students who are already in the high school and let the dancers talk to other dancers. Parents can talk and get a lot of information that they need ahead of time. Then auditions are usually in February and the dancers come live for the audition, and then we're in
What do they expect?
and
What do we
they
expect at the audition?
at the audition there will be a ballet and there will be a modern and an improv, and there will be a solo for 1 minute with
Oh,
no costumes or props in any style that a student wants to show.
very
So
nice.
there covers a spectrum of things,
Okay.
and we are looking for at Dr. Phillips not only the student who maybe has already had experience, But is there a student who can follow directions, pick up, maybe they haven't had a lot of formal training, but they're very good at listening, taking directions on the spot. Maybe they show us something in the solo. So we're looking for, potential.
Yeah, thank you. So I have now access to the school's Instagram.
Okay.
So if anyone looking for information, here we go. And we have some photos. Let's
Yeah.
see. Fun photos. Can you see this? Oh, look at you now. What was going on here?
Well, this one where you're looking at all the dancers on the stairwell, we actually have started a new initiative this year called the RISE program. And this was started with Orlando Ballet. Charmaine
Ooh,
is the director. And so a couple of the OCPS schools are piloting this program in the high schools and the middle school. And we have a, a guest that each school is given that comes in to do technique, ballet technique. And then they do a piece, they set a piece on the students, and then our students can go over to a field trip to watch Orlando Ballet do or dress rehearsal runs at the Harriet Center. And then this show that you see right here, we're at the DPAC watching Jungle Book last week. So all of this is a free initiative with this beautiful exchange from the Orange County schools with Orlando Ballet. So this is all of us together just celebrating that we're going to go in and watch a beautiful show.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yay. I
and
love collaboration. You know
yes,
me, I'm a big collaborator.
and let me
Okay.
plug that, yeah, then we're gonna have this whole performance on Saturday this weekend with workshops for 3 hours and performances, so
Oh,
super
very
fun.
nice. Okay. And that's going to be at the Harriet Theater?
Harriet's, yeah,
Really? Very. Is this the stage or this is the
this is at Dr. Phillips, what you're seeing
Oh,
right
okay.
now. And that is the students had a week residence with the John Lair Dance Company, who set a 10-minute piece on them Monday through Friday, and there we are performing it on Saturday to
Very
open
nice.
their full concert. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anyone wants to buy tickets, how do we by the time this airs, it's actually
Yeah,
going to be over.
correct.
But is there a way, will you put it up on the website for us?
Well, I know that you'll see snippets, and we will be sharing it again at our Winter Wonderland performance
Yes.
in December
Very
4th.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's switch gears now and let's talk about certification in dance and your views on that. What are your views? I mean, I know that you're a director of one, but what are your views for teachers who are on the fence? Do I get my dance certification? And yeah.
Well, in Florida, it is really it's come a different, in 30 years, it's really cycled a different way, because here I was a physical education major and
Mhm.
just doing dance, and then of course getting my master's. But now the program, the certification with the state is a little bit different. Um, and I think what you have to know is, do you want to work in the private sector, which is fabulous? I've done that also. Or do you want
Mhm.
to be in the public school sector, which there are private schools who also offer dance, so it doesn't need to be exclusive one way or the other. And then are you ready and able to jump through all the hoops that the state gives you? Because there are many, many hoops. And it does feel like it's kind of hard to negotiate sometimes, the paperwork that we have. Like, if I really showed you what the desk looked like, you'd be laughing because I can't even find the bottom. With There's just seems to always be something to jump through. I think we do what we want when we're trying to really deal with the students. So
Mhm.
my advice is to find a mentor that can walk you through and kind of help you, because it can be
Okay.
very frustrating, and it is quite a lot.
So how did that fall into your lap? How did you become like not the curator, but the director of Florida
I
Dance Masters?
Of Florida Dance Masters,
Oh, is it Florida Dance Education?
there are two different.
Okay.
There is a Florida Dance Masters that is for state. Anyone in the state that maybe is in private sector, they're very educationally um, nuanced. They really believe in education. I have worn many different hats with Florida Dance Masters, and I am a past president, but currently I serve as the education chair. That is the nearest and dearest thing to me. I love education, and I just want to see kids have opportunities and be successful. So we do quite a bit here at our school to allow them to come in for big scholarship auditions, to be able to work with master teachers, to be able to take part. And they travel different locations around the state to offer things for students. So that's super exciting. And so you can look through Florida Dance Masters and find lots of info on them. Um, we also have the Florida Dance Education Organization that I, again, have worn many hats there. I was the founding secretary for that, and now I am the current president. So this one, again, is an organization I love because, again, it really works on education and opportunities for students. And we started an assessment practice for the state over 10 years ago that in Orange County, we've actually modeled that same procedure. And just in 3 years, we can see in our county how that's changed. And we can tell in the state how the people who've taken part, how it's really changed the students. And just, it's a gift. And we have many artists who are professional workers or collegiate professors who come in to help mentor with the students and give authentic feedback. So it's just great. And then to be able to network with folks. In fact, we have coming up in October 22nd, 23rd, a day of dance at the University of Tampa for only $25 that you can go live to or virtual. And again, a way to network with other folks around the state is huge. And then the event in January, the state assessment, that FDPA, is January 29th and 30th. Info on the website for FDEO.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Valencia College. How did that happen? How'd you get over there too? Sheesh.
I know. That one was silly. In 2001, we actually started a dual enrollment with Valencia and Dr. Phillips Dance, which is marvelous because the professor comes here. And then, so that was established, and we had that for years. And then somewhere right around, I can tell you exactly when it was because I was in the midst of my master's. They're like, "Hey, Kathy, why don't you come on an adjunct?" And I'm like, "No, I'm very busy with this job and the master's." And they're like, "Oh, you should do this." And I'm like, "Well, I'll ask Bruce, my husband, who I thought would say no." And he's like, "Oh, I think that's a great idea." And I'm like, "Really?" So I ended up doing it thinking, am I crazy at this point in time? But actually, it's been so much fun. So I get to work with college students at night once a week. And I just get to walk in with no paperwork, no no drama, no anything, and we just get to dance and have a blast. So I'm like, oh my God, I really do love teaching.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
actually,
awesome.
the Valencia dance has been great, and they've got a wonderful summer program for high school students that they do
Okay.
VSDI in the summers for 4 weeks, and they also have a college program, and then they end up placing college students who want to move somewhere else in the state or around the country. So it's pretty exciting.
Yes. So
Ye-
speaking of college students, let's just talk a little bit about some of your babies that have grown and gone off to do wonderful things, whether it's college, whether it's Broadway or Disney, whatever. Off the top of your head, out of each class, let's just say about how many do it and how many don't.
You know, it's not even anything you can sit there and have a number on. It's easy
Okay.
to go, well, how many people at Juilliard? Because it never happened until in the last 9 years. So we've had 3 kids in the last 9 years. In fact, 2 are overlapping right now, a senior and freshman. And but it's things like knowing that they've moved on to maybe Broadway careers, or many of my students become teachers, believe it or not. And so they've gone and done Disney maybe in Europe or Disney here, or Broadway. So it's very all over the place. And because of the last 10 years of us really trying to do a lot of different things with dance, I have kids who go into film or they might go into musical theater. So it doesn't mean just dance, but I think somehow, some way they're going to use. But I get just as excited over kids who come back and they're like, I'm in the medical profession. I'm like, yes, that's what I want. So now that
Mhm.
you're going to have these creative people in the medical profession, and we've got wonderful people who are doing like biology and like what do I want to say? I don't even have the words. Like they just go into the environmental sciences, and I'm like, they're doing things because they're super creative thinkers. They can think in different ways than anyone else has thought of. And my next goal is to have dance politicians. That's the next goal.
Yes. Well, I love that. I have
Yeah.
a question.
Uh,
You mentioned the drama department and the dance department and the theater department. Do you guys ever all come together and do like one big show,
you know, s-
or is
um,
that too much?
We haven't done one big show for a while. And it's so funny you asked that question because I literally just had a meeting today saying, we need to do stuff like this again and do more. And we were
Mm.
actually headed that direction before COVID. And then in the last year and a half, stuff has kind of shut down little bit, but we're trying to find ways to go again. And we do a lot of collaborations, maybe one-on-one, like it might be dance and film, or it might be let's do course and dance something something, or theater and dance.
Nice.
It really is fun. I think
Mhm.
there's more power in collaboration. I think students get a lot more out of that. And so we're really big on it. We just,
I
keep trying.
love that idea. Okay, so speaking of college, I just went off on another tangent, but I have
Really?
someone who has a quick little message for you,
Okay.
ma'am Pam. Let's see who this is. Let me know if you can see it.
I can. That's
Oh,
and
okay, let's go.
Hi, my name is Jillian Alexander. I'm a recent graduate from Dr. Phillips High School, where I was in the dance magnet program for 4 years with Miss Follensbee. I now attend the Juilliard School for Dance. I just want to say thank you to Miss Follensbee because she's an amazing human being and an amazing director. She really helped me through a lot of my struggles through high school, and she was always there for her students. She really believed so deeply in us, and she gave us so many opportunities to put our names out there and to have different guests and different artists come in. And I definitely believe that that's a very big help to where I am today. I definitely would not be here without her, and I'm so grateful for her being my teacher, being my mentor, and I hope I didn't take 1 second for granted. And she's an amazing human being, and I have so much respect for her, and I am amazed by how much she has put into the program for us students and for all the students that currently go there. And she's probably one of the best directors that I've ever had. Thank you, Miss Follensby.
That is awesome. Like I'm tearing up. Just
well, so am I. So that was so nice.
I need a drink. It's water, but
Uh,
yeah. So I mean, I've been in your environment and all of your students speak so highly of you. I don't even know how you do it. You had like thousands of them in there, but one teacher and they all Miss Follensby. Um, COVID. What had happened was, yeah, how did you guys get through that and your challenges?
we that was rough. And I'm reaching under here because um I want to show you something. It was
Oh,
the first time that the show didn't go on.
mm-hmm.
We I the last day of spring, right before we went on spring break, we had a show completely done and ready. It was fabulous. And we brought in the Parsons group was here with us, and we were having the time of our lives. And the night before, I remember hearing on the news the NBA was shutting down. And I thought, oh, oh my, if they're shutting down, we are all about to get shut down. And my last words to everybody was, be on spring break, be safe, and, keep the show. And our plan is to come back, but don't anyone be surprised. No one knows what's going on right now. Don't be surprised if that doesn't happen, because the NBA shut down last night. And when we were shut down, that was just so hard because nobody had a safe place to dance at home. I literally would just take my computer and go onto our porch trying to connect with kids. We just made a decision at that time to go into feeding each person's soul. I mean, so we would do things but it was loose, but opportunities for kids to meet with. I think the arts world did so much at that time, offering free classes. But when you're trying to take class in a living room and your dogs are running around and people are making noise and you can't concentrate and you don't have room to move, and trust me, at DP, we teach to move, it is so not fun. So then what do you do? And what do you go for? So we would just do anything. Hey, do you want to do etudes in the pool? Do it in the pool. Do you want to dive? Do you want to be? I mean, it was just, how creative can you be? And trying to even think of projects like that distance love, where we decided to pass a heart to each person, and just how can you still find a way to be connected? So grateful for technology at that time. Like right now we're using this and this is great, but to be able to then come back in the studio last year was huge. It did. I didn't care if we're behind a mask, fine, but let's just keep going. And even with our guests, we couldn't bring anyone in, so it was all virtual. And you'd be like, "What did you say? Like, what was that?" Okay, what I think I saw was, and then being able to translate for the kids, like, oh my God. And this year, I don't think any of us thought we would still be in the place that we're in. And there's nothing to do but keep going. It's literally life. You can say, oh, it's COVID, but you know what? It is life. How many obstacles come our way? How many times do we not go on one true path, that we detour for whatever reason? And if we really watch what happened from the shutdown, creative people are the ones who were able to negotiate and come out on top. And I think it's just an exercise. And instead of saying no, it's like, okay, well, what can we do? Okay, well, then let's do this. Let's do it this. And we'll do everything we can for this.
Beautifully said.
So, with that being said, our shirts this year say the show must go
Oh,
on, but it goes in spite of a global pandemic. And then we've got all these other things,
I
and all that
love it.
we have are actual things that have really, really happened.
Oh,
So,
that's so funny. I love it. And you are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. What's next? I can't even imagine. Are you going to the space? Are you going to the moon with Kathy? Are you
no,
going to
I'm
space?
not. No, I'm going to be the last one left here, and everyone else on the rockets and go away. You say what's next, and I don't really know, because it's just going to be like, okay, well, what can we do now? What can we do now? So I don't even know. Sometimes you just get inspired in different ways. We love collaboration here. We love looking outside the box. We like to do things different. We don't like to sit on our laurels and do the same old, same old. We like to have a sense of humor and laugh and have fun, because what's the point? Sometimes things are so ridiculous. I will tell you, though, that I am doing a piece called Hoopla this year, as a movie. But I am bringing it to the proscenium stage this year, and the kids are in these 6-foot hoops with pool noodles around them, and because really our life has really become a bunch of hoopla, hasn't it? And so we
That's
have to
so
be
funny.
distant, or do we? We have to, so we have all these things going on, and it's just zany and it's crazy and it's nuts. And so it's just a way for us to kind of get the humor out. And I actually thought this year it would end in a different way, but here we are again,
Yeah.
still there. So we don't know what the ending is yet. It might just change, but we are
Beautiful. I
building
want
that.
to leave it there, but I can't. I have one more question. Just not a question, but just any last words or advice for young artists coming in to themselves?
You have to be okay with you. You have to love you. You have to love yourself, and you have to have a very open mindset. Um, when you have a defensive, walls built up, then you really can't be seen. But if you're able to just be open and go, okay, well, I haven't experienced that. Let me dip my toe in the water. Let me just try. I'll go just to the shallow end right now. And then maybe you might explore a little deeper. And then you might explore a little deeper after that. Right away, I think the kids start to figure out that I'm not a surface kind of chick. I want to dive deep. And so just the surface isn't good enough. How far are we willing to go? And once we can start stripping away ego, when we can just be happy with who we are, that's when the magic happens. So if you know you love the arts, pursue it. Everyone's always worried and parents are always worried, but how will you make a living? Even my husband did that to my own daughter. And I just looked at him like, what am I doing? If it's truly your thing, you make a living with it and you're fine. And I didn't say it was easy, and I didn't say it wouldn't be hard, and I didn't say there wouldn't be challenges. But you have to want to. And if you want to, then you're fine. There's something for everybody everywhere. You just have to find it. And I believe
Brilliant. Brilliant. Miss Kathy Follensbee, Dr. Phillips Magnet School High School in Orlando. You are the best. Thank you. Give my best to Kayla.
I will.
Yes, and thank you for everyone watching 15 Minutes of Fame. See you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.